Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5, Text 1. Sri Sukha Uvacha Tasyam Sa Pancha Janyam Vae Vishnu Mayupa Brahmeta Haryasva Samjnana Yutam Putrana Janayan Vimbuh. The noble Sukha said, in her, that was his wife, Panchajani, was indeed the capability of maintaining by the illusory energy, and so was named the Haryasvas, who had 10,000 sons that were begotten, full of power. Text 2. Aparthag dharma silaste sarve dakshayana nirpa pitra prokta praja sarge pratichim prayayur desam. Alike in good character according to the religious principles, they all, as sons of Daksha, O king, by their father, were ordered to increase the population, and they went to the westerly direction. Text 3. Tatra narayana saras tirtham sendu sambudrayo sangamu yatra sumahangune siddhane shavitam. In that direction is the Narayana Saras lake, which was a very holy place of the Sindhu River and the sea, where they met, and where there's very great sages and perfected human beings that frequent it. Texts 4 and 5. Tarupas parsanareva vinirduta malasaya dharme paramahamsyacha protpannamatayu peuta tapiretapa evogram pitradasena yantrita praja vivradaya yatande varshis tandadarsaha. Of that place, from bathing in the water or touching it only, was the complete washing away of impure desires from that practice that they executed as a transcendent class. And also they were inclined in their minds, although they executed penances that were certainly severe by the order of their father, they engaged this for the purpose of increasing the population, and they were ready by the great sage that visited them. Certainly. Well, they were certainly ready by the great sage, or the great sage that visited them. And text 6 to 8. Uvacha chatha haryasva katham srakshyatha vae prajah adrishtvantam bhuvo yuyam palesa bhata palaka Tatha eka purusham rashtram belam charashtanig. Nirgamam bahu rupam strayam chape pumam sampum chali patim narim ubayato vaham pancha panchan bhutam gerham kvachid damsam chitra katham kshaura pavyam svayam brahma. And he said also thus, O Haryasvas, why will you beget? Certainly there's progeny that hasn't been seen to the end of this earth. That's of all of you. You're inexperienced, alas, although you're ruling princes. And also, one person's kingdom, the whole of which there's no coming out of, and it takes many forms. The woman, and even the man, the husband of a prostitute, a river in both ways which flows, of a 5 multiplied by 5, which is a number that Joseph Smith used in his divination, spoke about in that way. Which is a wonder for the house somewhere. A swan whose story is wonderful, that is made up of sharp razors and thunderbolts, and itself is revolving about the Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 5, verse 5. Tat sadhu manya suravarya dehinam sada samudvigna deyam asangrahat idvatma patam gerham andakupam vanam gato yad darim astrayata. Prahlada Maharaja said to his father, in the deep well of family life, there's being filled with anxiety because of one's temporary body. If you want to free yourself from this anxiety, leave family life, well, at least for itself, right, and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Divinity in Vrindavan. And some just say the Ode Bala formulas and go about their lives with this principled way. But, family and all that shouldn't be, just for itself. I think we can all agree on that. Well, I mean, religious sources anyways can all agree on that. Text 9. Katham savapitur adesam avidvamso vipaschita anurupam avidnaya ahusargam karashyatha. How is it that of your own father's order you're ignorant, and who knows everything that's suitable for you without knowing the creation that you perform? Oh, so the idea is they didn't quite understand the Father's order. Text 10. Sri Sutta Uvacha Tannesamyata Haryasva Udpatika Manishaya Vacha Kutam Tudevarsha Svayam Vimam Rasurdeya. The noble Sukha said that as he heard thereafter were all the sons naturally awakened by possessing the power to consider the speech and the paradox of it, and they reflected on the Varsha with full intelligence themselves. Text 11. Kashetram Jiva Samjanam Yad Anande Nija Bandhanam Adrishtava Tasya Nirvanam Kim Asat Karma Bir Bhavet. The earth is the field of activities, and it's designated as the place for the incarnated spiritual beings, which has existed since time forgotten, or, time beyond memory. And it causes his bondage without seeing of this cessation. What will benefit of temporary cause and effect activities? What of that can there be? And text 12. Eka eva svaras tuyo bhagavan savasraya paratamarashva bhavam punsa kimasat karma bir bhavet. One who is indeed a controller of the fourth transcendental category, the Supreme Personality of God, is independent beyond this material creation. He doesn't see him who is not born or created of a person. And what benefit are these temporary fruitive activities? What of that can there be? And it's important sometimes to think of the levels of progress, right? That there's something, whatever things are, think of divinity as just, a step beyond what you can understand, at least, Avajanante mamuddha manushim tanum masratam. So if you're not subject to bodily changes and you think otherwise, that one is foolish. One who thinks otherwise, they're foolish. So you think if God is subject to the changes that we as beings in material bodies go through. Text 13. Pumanaivaite yan gatva bela svargam gatu yata pratyag dhamma vida eha kimasat karma bir bhavet. A human being certainly doesn't come back, to which, after he's been gone to the region of the lower planetary system, and he's gone like the effulgent spiritual world of the unintelligent in this material world, what benefit is there with the temporary fruit of activities? What can there be? And text 14. Nana rupatmano buddhe svairaniva gunan vittatan nishtam agatasyeha kimasat karma bir bhavet, the various forms are clothing of a living entity. The intelligence is like a prostitute who can dress herself in all sorts of clothes and ornaments. Well, nowadays I think it's drugs, it's the main thing, but a lot of people do prostitute for, just totally extra things in life that they're not even, addicted to in the same sort of way. They're endowed with the mode of passion, and the stopping of that, of the one who is not obtained in the material world. What is the use of performing the temporary fruitive activities? So, yeah, even though you're not of this sort of stuff, you can end up fallen in much the same way. Because people, like nowadays, it's not whether you're the celebrity or whatever yourself. If you're like, oh, well, if I was in that position, I'd be collecting all sorts of cars, and I'd have a gold toilet and all sorts of stuff. See? So if you yourself is just about collecting material things, and you're willing to do what it takes to do that, aren't you in the same position?